Welcome to the Horror Unmasked podcast,
where we unmask the monsters
and explore the lore.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Lily, and today we will be dissecting
The Exorcist Believer.
Let's Summon Spirits.
It begins with a couple in Haiti. Victor is taking photos while Soren is walking around the market, visibly pregnant.
Yeah, very, extremely.
A little boy finds her and brings her to get a blessing put on her baby. After, they are in a church taking photos. Later, as Soren is in their hotel room taking a nap, Victor is still in town when an earthquake hits. Victor runs to Soren, but she is badly hurt and asks him to protect her, their baby. The doctors say that he must choose to save her or their baby. The scene changes to a house in Percy, Georgia, 13 years later. And we meet Angela, their daughter, looking at images of her mom and looking at a scarf her mom wore. Her and her father, Victor, are eating breakfast before school, and she asks if she could go do homework over at Catherine's. The two of them then play a cute game of hide and seek before heading out.
It's so sweet.
It is really cute. I love the fact that he's like, we're not playing this game. And then she's like, oh, man. And then he comes sneak around the fucking corner is like, ah.
Yeah.
Love it.
So cute.
Very cute. Very cute.
I need to watch this again. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Before heading out, Angela is wearing her mother's scarf, but her father takes it from her.
And I wanted to slap him.
I know, right?
How dare you?
After school, the two girls go through the woods and go down into an underground tunnel as they try to summon spirits. As Victor arrives home later that night, Angela is not home, so he goes over to Catherine's house to ask if she is there, but they never showed up after school.
Immediately, the panic sets in.
Oh, yeah. Fucking immediately. Because it's like dark out. It's like the middle of the fucking night.
Working where I work now.
Yes.
There are lots of lost children.
Yeah.
There was a little baby. A
Mm-hmm.
little baby boy. Didn't speak our language.
Oh, fuck.
Couldn't find his parents. Had probably already been missing from them for like half an hour.
When you say little baby boy, guesstimate an age for me. Like walking age? And
he's walking,
like,
but I would say he was probably about 4 or 5.
Ooh, shit. That's very little.
Very young.
Yeah.
We were trying to speak to him. He couldn't really understand us. All he could do was like just shake his head no. And like I asked for his parents' names because like I was able to get that information, and he was just like, no, that's not. So I don't even think we had the right information.
Yeah.
So then he was sitting over on a bench with the security guards.
Yeah.
For over an hour after that until the park closed, and finally his dad and his brother were there, and it was like, what on earth? Me and everyone else were just sitting there like, how is there not somebody running and screaming to come get this boy?
Like, how the fuck? I'm sorry. How the fuck? How the fuck? You know you are for the most part in a very enclosed environment.
Yes.
But it's an enclosed environment with water sources.
Mm-hmm.
That could be deadly and dangerous for someone that young.
Yes.
How do you not, as a parent, fucking
lose your mind
rampantly?
Lose your mind.
Like, every lifeguard, every person who worked there should have been over the radio or over some system being like, hey, there's a parent losing their fucking mind because their child is missing.
I'm not sure if I'm really allowed to disclose all of this information. Not sure.
You're not giving names or anything specific. You're fine. As long as it's vague, you're good.
But we were all sitting there like, where is this parent?
Yeah.
It has been 2 hours. 2
the park
hours.
fucking closed, and then they finally showed up.
Then they finally showed up, and we were like, if
How
this
do you do
parent,
that?
we all were sitting there like, if this parent does not run and pick up their child and like
are, like,
swing
and
and are like crying
and-
hysterically,
Like,
this
that's
child is mine. I
hard
am adopting
neglect.
this child.
Yeah, hard neglect.
Because he was so cute and so sweet, and he just looked so in distress, and we were just like, how?
You know what's weird?
What?
That reminds me, I was in high school, early high school, and my mom and I were leaving to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're driving down the road, there is this 3-4-year-old
No.
only in a diaper
Just walking on the
walking
side of the
down our street in the neighborhood, walking down the street. This is when we were in the neighborhood.
What?
Walking down the street, and we stopped the car, and my
Yes,
mom, in
yes.
natural instinct, grabs the baby,
Mm-hmm.
calls the cops,
Yeah.
and we're sitting there, and what happened? They were able to find the parents. They were in the neighborhood because the parents had called the police.
Right.
Because what had happened is, I guess, they had the windows open,
Mm-hmm.
and they were
the
cleaning.
baby just crawled out.
It pushed the screen out of the first floor and crawled out
Oh my god.
and was walking through the neighborhood.
Oh my god.
Like, we fed him some water and a little banana and
like
stuff.
he's a
and
pet.
we were like, because he looked dehydrated because it was hot. It was the middle of the like hot August,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very little,
Yeah.
and it was very sunny out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and
we
that's
were just
kind of what
sitting
it's
there.
like now because it's very hot and like it's so bad.
Oh yeah,
I don't understand how in situations like that, at least where I'm at, that the parent doesn't just come immediately back to the front to try and figure it out.
fucking insane.
Like, what were you doing? Because there's no way you were out there for almost 2 hours looking for your kid.
Because even if, let's say, if it's, I don't know the family dynamic, I'm making a guess. If it's a mother, a father, an older sibling, and this little sibling, I'm just gonna say that's the family unit.
I'm not going to give specifics
Yeah.
because,
If the father and the brother sibling or older sibling were in a line for a ride, and the other parent, whoever was the parent, that was the one that was supposed to be watching.
I will say, no two parent, just one.
Okay, if the one parent, well, then I have no fucking if you're a single parent and you lose one of your children, you should be freaking the fuck out.
I would be, whether I was a single parent or not.
It's
And the thing, we were all like, all right, well, if this parent doesn't come sobbing, screaming, picking up their child, comforting them, I'm like, we're going to adopt this kid. Like,
Yeah.
this is our child now. Parent comes.
Mhm.
It's just like, oh, hey. Child is sobbing, so stressed out. I could see him disassociating while he was sitting there waiting
Yeah,
for
'cause
his
he's
family
terrified.
because he was so scared.
because he can't communicate because he doesn't speak the language.
Right.
There's no fucking way.
There's no way.
I understand.
In a country he's probably never been in before,
Yeah.
with people he's never seen before,
Yeah.
speaking a language he doesn't know.
Yeah.
How are you not losing your mind as a parent?
Yeah. Especially knowing the fact that he's like a fucking 4 or 5-year-old.
Like, it was so sweet.
What is your common sense?
They came up to me and it was like the little boy and then this really tall security guard and the little boy's just holding on to his hand for dear life. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god. Ah, how? It infuriated everybody. We were
Yeah.
just like, how?
It'd piss anybody off. That would piss anybody off.
And it like, and then little man crawled into his stroller, just like so stressed. He was just like, and like his dad picked him up, and he was like holding him, but little boy was just crying, and the parent, sorry,
The parent.
the parent just seems so nonchalant.
If it is a single parent,
Yeah,
specifically, that's messed up.
I don't know.
Regardless.
It's just, this reminded me of this, and if
Yeah.
your parent isn't acting exactly like this father was in this movie,
I mean, in general, both of these sets of parents fucking went
lost
ham.
their mind.
They went crazy for it.
Yeah. And let's get into it.
Yeah.
The town goes searching for the girls for 3 days before they are found in a barn by a farmer's son.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, during these 3 days, Victor was absolutely losing his shit.
Is losing his shit.
as any parent should. Victor then shows up at the hospital having been called as the girls have been found. There are a series of tests and questions asked, but both girls, for the most part, are fine. Later at home, the girls are acting a little strange, but it is brushed off as the girls are still coping with going missing because, they've been gone for days. Yeah. Anybody might have a little bit of trauma from that.
Yeah. They seem a little dissociaty and a little flighty, but for the most
people
part,
are like, it's probably just because they've been gone for days.
The stress of everything that happened,
Because who knows? Who knows what had happened within those 72 hours.
When we say the most part, they're fine. It's because they don't really remember what happened during the time period because their memory is them going into and then that's it.
And that's it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
The next morning, when Victor checks on Angela, she has wet the bed. But as she goes to clean up, the tub is full of dirt, but Angela is not there. Victor goes to search for Angela when she attacks him before having a seizure in the hallway. She is taken to the hospital once again. Then it goes to Catherine in church with her family, and as they are having mass, Catherine shows up, covered in blood,
saying,
dress a mess, saying, the body in the blood?
The body in the blood? The body in the blood?
A scene.
Can you tell that's kind of our favorite moment?
Can you? I wouldn't say that's my favorite moment.
But that's of the favorite phrase,
moment, yeah.
Because it's even in the trailer for the movie.
It is. Yeah. A scene plays out in the hospital. Okay. Before I get there.
Yes.
As a family.
Yes.
Why did you think it was okay that your child has been missing for days?
Yes.
And then you bring her to church with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
That she probably doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Why would you force that? So honestly,
it's because they're religious.
They were embarrassed. Good.
Yeah, because they're religious, and so they're they're also we're just gonna go back to everything is normal.
Dumb.
I'm that's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
Anyway. And this is proof.
A scene plays out in the hospital between Angela and Anne, her nurse, and neighbor, which scares her, and Anne goes to speak to Victor, saying that there is no way Angela would know her secret abortion and that something spiritually is wrong.
Yeah.
Because Anne had an abortion a long time ago. And somehow
she was trying to join the church as a nun.
She was I want to be a nun. I want to join the church. I can't have a baby and, follow this path. And Angela mentioned it. She was
and said the child's name before.
Yeah. Said the child's name.
Literally.
And Anne was
there's no fucking way.
I have not spoken to anyone about this ever.
I am literally telling you the first person.
The first person I'm telling you.
Because of what your daughter just did in the hospital.
Yeah. Stuart, Victor's friend, and Anne come over to talk with Victor about reaching out to a woman named Chris McNeil for help.
Mm-hmm. Spoiler warning. Skip ahead. Victor, ever the skeptic, agrees to go see her. And they speak about what happened to her daughter, Reagan, and how after everything that happened, she doesn't even know where her own daughter is anymore. And I feel I think it was a safety measure in a way.
Right, yeah.
If I don't know where you are, then you're safe. Something weird about that.
Something like that, yeah.
Chris goes back with Victor and sees the girls. But as she sees Catherine, she is attacked by her and loses her eyes.
Fucking crazy.
Crazy. Because she uses a fucking cross.
Yeah.
And just stabs out her eyes.
Yep.
And also, the demon is you looking for Reagan?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so fucked up. Being how dare you? Fuck you. Don't say my daughter's name.
Mm-hmm.
It's messed up. And the fact that it kind of almost alluded to like, oh, I know where she is.
Right.
It's so fucked.
It's like, because I'm still connected to her, bitch.
In the hospital, Chris explains that the girls are connected and that they need people of all different beliefs to help. Which is interesting, but also it's very different. But I'm kind of okay with it because I kind of like the dynamic
people are
of it.
seething because they're like, oh, they're just trying to be inclusive. Okay.
Yeah, but
what about it?
It's, it's people using all different forms of religions to help with the situation.
Like, why are you pissed off about this? It's people coming together.
Yeah.
Like, people coming together for a common cause.
Yeah.
And isn't that what it should be?
Yep.
Whether you come from different backgrounds and different beliefs, like, we should all be coming together for something that is bigger than that.
Also, it's very telling, again, the mentality between the different sets of parents because they kept Catherine home. Even though she's fucking changing.
Yeah.
Whereas Victor, literally, she's been in the hospital the whole time. Because
Victor was like, I just want to know what's wrong with my kid and I want to make her better. Whereas versus, Catherine's family is like,
keeping her.
This is embarrassing.
Keeping her. Yeah.
I don't care if this is detrimental to our family.
Yeah.
She's going to stay locked up.
Exactly.
And boy, do they pay for that.
Yeah. So, as the arrangements begin and both girls are brought to Victor's house, where a circle has been set up, and the girls are hooked up to medical devices and tied to chairs that are back to back. As the ritual starts, the girls' heartbeats become in sync. Everyone is also given a protective pouch and warned not to touch the girls. As the room alights with chanting and prayers, lights flicker, but nothing feels like it is working. And the girls start taunting them back in demonic voices. When we see Victor, who's been silent the whole time as Angela leans forward, knowing and saying he doesn't believe.
Tisk, tisk, Victor. How do you not believe at this point? I'm a little lost on that.
Oh, yeah.
As time passes, it begins to feel hopeless, when suddenly the girls start to groan and scream as their bodies convulse, and it seems as they are releasing something from themselves. That was just the start. As the fight continues, possessed Angela confronts the dark truth that he chose his wife over her. This rattles Victor, as the girls then say that they have to make a choice. One girl can live, while the other must die. Both girls then begin begging to be chosen, when both say that if one isn't chosen, then both will die. Suddenly, Father Maddox, a priest who wanted to help but couldn't, shows up, and for a moment, everyone is happy. But that is soon lost as he is killed by the entity in a panicked moment.
Also, Father Maddox fucks up because he touches them.
Yep. So that's on him.
He literally touches them, and I'm like,
yep.
I remember us sitting in the movie theater being like, don't, no.
Yep. And they were like, and then
like, he's fucked.
And then what happened? He dies.
Yeah, he gets his neck fucking cracked.
Yeah. In a panicked moment, Victor gets his wife's scarf and puts it around Angela's neck, asking her to come back. When Catherine's father says he chooses her, seeming to break the possession on Catherine and killing Angela, when the protective magic Soren had put on Angela brings her back, sending Catherine to her death and damning her soul. In the end, everyone tries to get back to any kind of normal, and we see Chris in the hospital as Reagan has come to see her, finally.
The end.
So much shit.
There's so much. Trust me, this summary could have been fucking longer.
For sure.
And
if you are used to our old formats, we definitely could have done that.
We could have done that with this one.
Because what I used to do is break it down scene by scene. I don't do that no more.
Yeah, we used to have like between 1,000 to 2,000 words for our summaries.
But it's like at that point, go watch the movie.
Yeah.
Just go watch it.
And this literally
is mild.
is mild. There's so much to it. There's so much depth, so much emotion, so much
Correct.
craziness. Like, fuck, we cried at the end of this goddamn movie.
We were sobbing like babies.
It is such a good movie.
It is
and
so
the pacing
touching,
is
so
good.
heartwarming. Yeah, the pacing is excellent.
The special effects, fantastic.
There was never a point where I didn't understand what was happening.
Exactly.
Unlike another movie.
Like another movie.
The original.
Yeah. So this movie was released October 6th, 2023.
Just last year.
The director is David Gordon Green. Distributed by Universal Pictures.
Period.
I have their box office. What
Yeah.
was their budget?
Their budget was $30 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is shocking for their box office. Because their box office is only $137 million.
Right. I feel like it should have been higher
It
than that.
should be higher.
Believe you me, I'm going to shock you even more. I'm going to shock you to your core.
Oh, no. Are you about to give me a tomato score that I don't like?
22%.
What the fuck?
Right.
This movie deserves to be in, like, the 80s, personally.
I agree.
Like,
it is so...
It's so good.
It's...
Visually, story-based. There's so much to it that's great.
It just...
It actually gives you a reason to like the Chris character.
Yeah.
Like, there's purpose behind her. And, like...
I didn't want her eyeballs to go.
Yeah.
But, you know...
But overall, like, the pacing of the movie is good. It's got great pacing.
Yeah.
It's got good storytelling.
Correct.
Everything is intentional. Nothing in it feels like, well, why the fuck did that happen? Like, why did you reach out to this person? Or why? Who is this? And why is this? All of it was connected for some reason or another.
Right. And this movie is shorter than The Exorcist. It's an hour and 51 minutes. So it's like they were able to put so much in here and pace it so well versus the original Exorcist where it's over 2 hours long and feels like nothing is happening.
To, like, if both of these, since kind of in a way both of these movies are almost the same length, the difference is that The Exorcist could have cut a whole hour off and would have been fine. Yeah. Versus this one, if you lost an hour, you would lose so much. There would be so much missing. Yep. If you didn't have all of it there.
I think this is a perfect movie.
Hell yeah. It's so good. It's such a good movie.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Kill count, only 2.
Yes.
Because obviously it's the mother at the beginning. And then...
The father.
Oh, just kidding. Kill count 3.
Yeah.
Kill count 3.
Yeah.
The mom at the beginning. Father Maddox.
Yeah.
And then Catherine. So if you really want to talk about kill, it's father and Catherine.
Yo, and...
the mom was kind of just a secondary.
We didn't get into it. But that ending scene because it's when the dad's like, I choose you. And then, you know, Catherine kind of snaps out of it.
That was nuts.
And Angela, like, basically loses consciousness and dies. Yeah. Victor's fucking broken. Yeah. Because he's, like, just clutching her. And then all of a sudden, you see the memory of the blessing. Yeah. Which all of a sudden Catherine starts losing consciousness and Angela
is getting ripped back,
wakes up, and you fucking see Catherine essentially wake up,
but not in her body.
Not in her body. She's down in that cave space, dressed in what she's wearing outside, her body on the outside, dressed in the same thing, and she's in this cave, but she's conscious and consciously aware
of everything,
and calling out to her mom because she can hear her mom's voice,
and she's literally in hell.
She literally, it's that tunnel, and then all of a sudden, because there's that bit of water, and then just hands grab her and drag her down.
It's actually insane.
It is such a
it's so terrifying as well.
Moment.
So you're dealing with that, and you're like, fuck, that's awful that happened to her, but
then you start to cry because you're like, the mom had the blessing and then she woke up and dead,
and she saved her child, and oh my god. But the fact that Victor had also didn't choose Angela, chose his wife over her.
He was, but also the idea that in the end it was also him being like, we're not choosing, period. Yeah. We're not making that choice. And the thing is the fucking Catherine's mom was very much like, I agree.
I agree. We're not choosing.
We're not choosing.
And
it was the fucking dad.
It was the dad, yeah.
Who caved and was like, I choose you. Well, you fucked up and choosing.
You did.
Because it's almost like...
Because it's the blessing, but it also could have been the demon as well, like swapping it on them. But
because it's also fucked up, because it's also the idea of like, in some way, had they chose
Angela, the other girl might have lived.
The other girl might have lived.
Both of them might have lived.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
had Angela been chosen, both may have lived.
Because if it was the flip, then
because what
Catherine
I think it
would
is
still be alive, and then that blessing still would have kept.
Yeah. Because honestly,
Angela.
I think that the only reason why Angela came back to life is because of the blessing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the literal only reason why that she survived it.
It's crazy stuff.
Because it's crazy. Because like, in our context of The Exorcist in general, like the possessed individual survives. So to have one of them like die, and you're just like, shit.
Like, and be taken by that entity. Yeah. Is.
Because when we say they damned,
level.
like, her soul was damned. Her soul was damned.
Yeah.
And I also think it's very fitting, special effects and makeup wise, in regards to that. The fact that Angela, who grew up in a household that did not have belief system, versus Catherine's, she's the only one who had the upside down cross.
Right. Yep.
Because she grew up in a Catholic household, so an upside down cross would be seen as mocking their religion. Versus Angela, who didn't have a religious belief, so she wasn't marked in any certain way. So I think that's fascinating that there's that very subtle show of belief systems.
Yeah.
I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give our cast real quick.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more of a long one.
It's a thicky bagicky. There's so many people.
Yeah. I was so shocked and surprised to see Mr. Leslie Odom Jr.
Yeah.
Aaron Burr from Hamilton pop up on the screen. He's so incredible.
He's so fucking good in this movie.
Love him. He plays Victor Fielding. Then we have Libya Jewett as Angela Fielding. Mm-hmm. Olivia O'Neill as Catherine West. Jennifer Nettles as Miranda West. Norbert Leo Butts as Tony West. Then we have, obviously, our reprising roles. Ellen Burstyn, Chris McNeil, and Linda Blair as Reagan McNeil. And then do you also have the mom?
I have a significantly longer list than you.
Oh, you do? Go ahead. Drop it.
So I've got
Anne as well. And the mom.
I got a lot of people.
And the priest. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let me let you.
So I got Tracy Graves as Soren Fielding.
Yeah.
I have Okwi Okpokwasili as Dr. Beehive. E.J. Bonilla as Father Maddock. Raphael Sparge as Pastor Don Reeves. Anne Dowd as Anne Brooks, which is actually kind of funny that she's just named after herself. And Danny McCarthy as Stuart.
Yes.
Because all of them were the titular people in that last ritual
they were all
scene.
In that last room scene.
Because each of them followed very different religious forms.
Right.
So, yeah, it just a thick-ass cast list of people. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, you want to drop some knowledge?
I will. I shall drop knowledge.
Please drop it. Henceforth.
So, number 1, 2025, The Exorcist Deceiver.
A sequel!
Here we are, we're getting a sequel!
A sequel!
Hell yeah.
Actually, I think I read something that it might be a trilogy.
Yo. That's going to be fascinating.
But I didn't know if that was official, so now it's official.
Yeah, because we've got Exorcist Believer, we've got Exorcist Deceiver.
Exorcist Believer, Deceiver.
Ooh,
what would that
last
one
be?
So 2025?
2025, so next year. But yeah, I'm very excited that we're getting another movie.
Yes.
Because I'm curious what the story's going to be for that.
Right, yeah.
You know? Because there hasn't been any promotional stuff or any information about it yet. I just, when I was looking it up, I had saw that it was, that they, basically that was there, and I was like, well, shit.
Right.
This is going to be kind of intense to see what comes of this, you know?
All right.
Alrighty, so.
Set stuff.
Ashley Levy was summoned to help the makeup department on The Exorcist Believer. So she didn't actually know what the movie was being about. She didn't know what it was.
Okay.
They didn't tell her what it was. But when she heard it was Blumhouse, she was like, yep, I'm going.
Fair enough. Me too.
And they're like, just give me some vague coordinates that I could ship my kit to, and I'll be right there.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. So Levy has worked on other Blumhouse projects, such as Happy Death Day and its sequel, Happy Death Day to You.
Okay.
Insidious the Red Door.
Oh, okay.
So apparently she's known as Beauty and the Beatdown.
What?
Because she says that based on her speciality. So she's like, I'll beat a face and make you beautiful, and then I'll murder you.
That's great. Beauty and the Beatdown.
I'll make you beautiful, and then I will kill you.
Lovely.
But
That's very glam and gore-esque.
yeah, exactly. And she's like, but nothing could have prepared her for the opportunities, as she put it, as this amps up The Exorcist for the new generations in Believer.
Yeah.
So Ellen Burstyn reprised her role as Chris MacNeil.
Yep.
For the first time since 1973's The Exorcist. So she was in none of the other films.
Yeah.
Even though the Reagan's character was in the second one. Which is interesting. For which she received an Oscar nomination for Best Actress in a leading role. For The Exorcist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But this time, Chris has been sought out to help the parents of 2 young girls who disappeared into the woods and returned possessed.
They what?
Yeah. David Gordon Green.
DGG.
Yeah. Directs with Oscar-winning makeup artist Christopher Nelson.
Yep.
From Suicide Squad.
He's huge.
Designing and heading up the special effects makeup department. So, Chris Nelson had already been working for a while with the girls' designs.
Yeah.
So right away, when they jumped in, she had a good talk with David Gordon Green. And one of the reasons why she really loved and appreciated him so much as an artist. And for her, she was like, I think people don't give him enough credit for this.
Wow.
Is that every single thing has an important level to play in the movie.
Oh, for sure.
There is no person's makeup design that goes untouched or thought out about, down to the color polish on some characters' fingernails.
Wow.
Or how much dirt the person has on them. So when it came to distinguishing the makeup designs...
I always think that that's so important.
Every
and I'm
aspect.
not sure a lot of designers really
pay
think
attention
about
to that
it or pay attention to it.
Yeah, because they had to take into consideration, okay, we want to see over the course of the time the wear and tear of the mental and psychological deterioration, indicating that they're losing their faith and losing spirit and the joie de vivre of it all.
Yeah, which I really love how this movie did that. And it was so gradual.
Yes.
And just, you can see the deterioration, and it is so purposeful.
Yeah.
Versus the original, which didn't really land well. Like, Reagan was...
It just kind of got extreme.
Yeah, she was playing with a Ouija board, and then immediately she was vomiting and...
being violent and
and
vulgar and all that kind of shit. So, yeah.
Like, immediately.
And like we said, those are very important aspects that they discussed right out of the gate.
Yeah.
So by the time they had started filming, for them it was almost like listening to a symphony. Because they had all of this information already. So, in kind of like the last scene where you get to see up close on the girl's eyes before that transition, you can see the humanity leaving her in the final gaze. So, it's kind of funny because it's during the production, it was Ashley's makeup, and then it would hand over after a certain point in the movie to Chris.
Ah.
So once they hit that point, they would go over to Chris. And Chris is going to add these little tiny fade appliances here and there. And that is going to be the beginning of that journey up until the very end. So it was like handing off the baton.
Yeah.
But the best way to describe where they were in their journey on any particular day, this is what they would refer to it on set as their stank level. What level are we looking at here? How stanky are we getting? Is it Chris stank, or are we still staying at Ashley stank?
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
I love that, like, on set, they're like, is it you stank or is it him stank?
Him stank. Which one?
Because we got to know, what level stank are we at?
What are we rocking with today?
So after, which is actually really interesting. I didn't realize it until this, but David Gordon, after shooting the recent Halloween trilogy.
Oh.
Some of my favorite shit. Cinematographer Michael Simmons signed on to shoot Green's The Exorcist Believer. So Simmons' credits encompass a range of genres, and he says lighting for horror is without a doubt the most challenging and daunting. It has nothing to do with where you put the light. It's where you don't put them.
Don't put it. Yep. Oh.
You're basically telling micro stories of violence and tone and trying to create doubt in certain parts of the room and clarify in others. The filmmakers wanted to pay homage to Rosman's Academy Award nominated work on The Exorcist. So Simmons chose...
I will say the lighting in that movie was very good.
Yeah. Yeah, the lighting was very good in that movie.
If nothing else.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. There was other things, but, you know.
So Simmons chose movie cam lens from Ari Rental that rehoused vintage Olympus OM glass in new, lightweight lens bodies. Because the original movie was shot with spherical lenses because they were faster and needed less light. But that was not a concern, obviously, for them now. So the reason why they shot in spherical just to replicate the style of the original. And then the kind of how it worked, which was kind of cool seeing some of the background images, was the cameras were usually on New York style sticks, a non-moving dolly. So there are only 2 steady cam shots. Most of the camera moves are pans or simple glides and drifts to the right or the left. Digital image technician Justin Paul Warren color graded live on set. There's a lot of in-camera special effects, a lot of shaker motion stuff, and playing with prisms and crystals. Simmons says often they would handheld a light just to give the lens like a kiss of light, or hit some piece of the set or a flag showing something moving through the window.
Yeah, they
just
did really
to keep the light moving a little. So yeah, they had a really good lighting process. And then the exorcism sequence,
right,
had a significant page count in the book, and took more than a week to shoot. So Simmons and Green broke it down into mini chapters, which enabled cast and crew to all be on the same page in terms of what is the beginning, middle, and end, and what the transitions were from piece to piece.
Right. So
in addition to the smart lighting panels, Simmons had a big softbox placed over the Exorcist set. And that the ceiling of that set was built to come in and out with ease. But there was way too much light when it was taken out. So they used large pieces of foam to control the light from the softbox, which was much closer to the actors than one would normally want. So we would keep very small 1 by 1 foot holes over the actors' marks, and then give the lights some shape from the ground. So he also designed a variety of light effects to happen throughout the scene as well. It starts brighter and gradually becomes darker, but you will feel it and not notice it.
Mm.
Then there are obviously special lighting cues and different things that happen during the possession to actually source the light. But apparently, like a lot of the lighting, they even said that they didn't have any real light bulbs in any of the set. All of it was them doing all the lighting and all of the specialty lighting.
Wow.
Like there were no like
That's commitment.
just a bulb and a lamp or something like that. Like all of it was very controlled.
Well, when you have $30 million.
You know, when you have $30 million, you can kind of do
Whatever
the fuck you want. Especially when you are a renowned horror director.
Yep. With renowned horror makeup people.
And cinematographers. I mean, for fuck's sake.
And actors. Leslie Odom Jr.
And there's a reason why. This movie's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a stunning film.
It's stunning. It's terrifying. All at once.
It's emotional, which is shocking.
We were not expecting that.
No.
I'm going to be so honest with you. Because of how much I dislike Exorcist, I honestly was so skeptic going in to watch this movie.
Yeah.
I was like,
you were saying that even when we were going to the movies.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think this is going to be very good. I'm not really expecting anything.
Dude, hold on. I just remembered when we first got to the movie theater to watch the movie, we were walking up and a couple was walking by.
Oh,
and
I
don't know if they had gone to go see it or they just assumed we were going to go see it. I don't know if we had some...
No, because we were walking and we were like in our PJs and with the blankets.
Oh, because we had spooky shit. Because I think we had some spooky shit
and they were like, are you guys going to see
this The Exorcist Believer? And we're like, yeah. And this clearly Christian couple.
I think she even had a cross on her neck.
Yeah. Was like, oh, you shouldn't go see that. It's demonic.
Yep.
I was like, that's the point.
That is the point.
That's the point. It's supposed to be demonic.
Love you, girl. Thanks for looking out, though.
I'm like, both of us were like, that was a weird interaction. I don't think either of us have ever been like told like, you shouldn't go see it. It's scary and it's demonic.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the goal. We hope it's scary and that it's demonic. Because that's the point.
Because I'm like, I didn't think that, like, her saying that to me honestly made me more skeptical about the fact that it was going to be like, I was like, all right, well, everyone says that about The Exorcist, so
yeah. Yeah. But it's definitely, I mean, shit, even when we started crying, both of us looked at each other and we're like, are we about to start crying? Both of us were like, what the fuck is going on?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Nuts.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, but that's the end of my notes.
Alrighty.
So what you got?
I just got some lore about the demon in this one.
Yeah.
Lamashtu.
Lamashtu.
So, again, if you didn't go watch the Exorcist episode that we just put out last week.
What are you doing?
What are you doing with your life?
Pause. Go listen. Come back.
I mean, even though we're already pretty good chunk into this one now, if you've made it this far.
But still.
If you want some context about...
Go listen to it.
Yeah. So, Lamashtu, the demon in this movie, different from the demon in the original Exorcist, Pazuzu.
Which is interesting because initially, I think I thought that it was the same demon only because of the fact that it referenced Reagan.
Right. Yeah, which makes sense that it would be the same.
Yeah.
But it's not. So that's a little weird there.
But maybe it's because of the Pazuzu character being like, I protect children, but also I fucked up a kid.
Right. And let me get into that.
Yeah, go for it.
It makes it really interesting, especially with the whole beginning of the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
So, again, Lamashtu, another Mesopotamian demon, considered the most terrible of all female demons.
Well, shit.
The most terrible. Daughter of sky god Anu. Often depicted with her is Pazuzu.
You know,
the Lion King bird.
Lion King. But the demon version.
Demon version. No. Often depicted with her is Pazuzu, the other Mesopotamian demon that I mentioned last episode.
Yeah.
King of wind demons. Here's the kicker. They used to be married.
Oh, shit.
They used to be in love. They used to mingle. And then Pazuzu was like, nah, fuck that bitch. And here's why. She slew children and drank the blood of men and ate their flesh. The bearer of 7 different names, often described in incantation as the 7 witches. So she has like 7 different names that she goes by.
Yeah.
Couldn't be bothered, to be honest. That's a lot. Lamashtu perpetrated a variety of evil deeds. So many different things. Disturbed sleep, brought nightmares, killed foliage. So I guess plants. How fucking treacherous. Like, actually. I hate those people that come into my work and then just take the flowers off the plants. Like, can you stop, please? Like, actually.
Yeah.
Infested rivers and streams, bound the muscles of men. And here's where Pazuzu was like, I've had enough. Caused pregnant women to miscarry and brought disease and sickness.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because it's the exact opposite of his protective state.
Yes. Exact opposite. And especially when she's the one involved, and the whole beginning of Soren putting the protection on her baby and then Soren being the one to die, it's almost like Pazuzu was the one that protected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what if that was
Pazuzu being like, you will die, but your child will survive. Your child's
okay. Like, one of you's gotta...
The choice must be made.
Yeah.
It's a mirroring of of what happens later.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because of the protective charm placed on the baby, it's why she survived in the end.
Okay, so Lamatsu, obviously the daughter of the god Anu, acted on her own accord to her own initiative rather than at the god's instruction. So she was like, fuck y'all, I'm gonna do what I want. So she represented something more than the usual demonic power.
Gotcha, yeah.
The writing of her name in cuneiform. I was close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Further suggests that Lamatsu was considered a goddess in her own right, just because of how rebellious she was, and like was like, no.
She kind of elevated herself because of her rebellious state.
Yes, correct. She practiced evil, apparently for its own sake, just because.
Evil for evil's sake.
Evil for evil's sake. Her primary victims considered to be unborn children and newborn babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
All goes along with this movie. Yeah. Pregnant women were therefore also her targets.
Yeah.
So she could have been the one that been like, earthquake, fuck you.
But then the Pazuzu blessing was like, fuck you, bitch. You're not interfering.
These are my theories. And if...
I mean, I totally can see it.
This is what I'm saying. Like, if the writers went along with actually what
their own lore is,
then this is very accurate versus the original Exorcist, who didn't really dive into that at all, didn't really explain where the demon came from, didn't even say his name.
Yeah.
Like, at least in that specific movie until later.
Because, I mean, because if you're thinking about it, because we don't really know what the protective spell is, nor what the being was that she was using to then put the blessing.
Right. Because honestly, I'm not going to lie, in the beginning, it seemed kind of like, not like it was a blessing. Like, it was actually kind of like a curse.
Because the thing is it's a blessing for your baby.
Yeah.
Versus a blessing for you and your baby. It's a blessing for your baby.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, like the earthquake was one of them being like, I'm going to fuck shit up and kill some people and cause some problems. In this combination, there's a pregnant mother that I can also do a twofold. Right. And then Pazuzu being like, no. Protection spell.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You're not ready for this. It was believed in the first instance that the wearing by an expectant mother of an amulet of the head of Pazuzu might thwart the goddess's evil plans.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like...
The protective spell, yeah.
If you are doing something that represents Pazuzu, wearing something, doing a ritual for him...
Yeah.
Lamatsu's going to come for you.
Because we have literally no idea who it was. So it easily could have been that they were using, because that's a common thing, that people would use a deity or a being as you are a protector of avoiding miscarriage. So here, I will put a blessing. And then she was all like, how dare you put this blessing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and fuck it up, but is
Yeah.
unsuccessful.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in that situation, he chose his wife and the wife still died and the baby didn't.
Exactly.
No matter what, the wife was going to die. But here's the thing. It is a perfect
Yeah.
1-for-1
So symmetrical.
situation.
Yeah.
Because the blessing was on the baby and she's a child. Pazuzu both is for babies and children. So she grew up and she's still a child.
Mm-hmm.
She becomes possessed
Pazuzu's still protecting her.
by the bitchy lady.
Yep.
Both girls are possessed
Lamatsu. By Lamatsu.
by Lamatsu. And again,
Mm-hmm.
confronted with the fact of that choice, a choice is made again.
Yep.
But again, because of the blessing,
Yep.
it's rebounded back.
Mm-hmm.
It's reflected back on the person who's been chosen.
So
Again, fucking amazing writing.
That's what I'm saying. It just adds to that level of like knowing the gods' backgrounds and how they used to be lovers and are now enemies because of their differences in protection against children. It's like that adds another such
a deeper
profound, deeper meaning to this movie.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if you don't know that, now you do. And now you can go back and watch and be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
These are the gods at war.
Yeah. It's literally two gods fighting each other through people.
Yep.
And it's unfortunately and fortunately, it's both win and both lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what, someone dies. Like in the beginning, Pazuzu won.
Yeah.
That battle. And in the second battle, they both won and lost. Because she got one of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one survived because of the blessing still being on her.
Yeah. It's just so... There's so much depth.
So much. There's so much to go into with this movie. It's...
And, like, again, if you weren't interested in going into the lore and looking things up, you would never know that, like, extra element of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the writers even know about this. Like, because obviously they chose the opposite god of what was the original.
Yeah.
So they obviously should know something a little bit about their backgrounds and what they stand for.
What even be wild is, you know for a fact that they probably researched the mother-loving shit out of this goddamn stuff.
Oh, yeah.
To have picked the god that is
opposite.
The literal, like,
enemy.
Ex-wife of the fucking first one.
Mm-hmm.
And attacked people that are his protective charges.
Yeah.
It's if they didn't know it and they still did the script that way, you're fucking geniuses.
Right? I don't care if you knew or not.
Didn't know, you're geniuses.
Yep.
And the fact that if you did know, you're still genius.
You're still
geniuses.
Did
a fantastic storyline.
Correct. And like, I just hate that people, like, how did this get a 22%?
It doesn't
and
fucking make
there
any
were
sense.
So many people who just shat on this movie, and it just, when you compare the two movies in today's time,
nothing alike.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing alike. And I really hope, okay, there's a part of me that really, 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 really hopes, but I know that there are definitely people who did it who were not like, it's nothing like The Exorcist, blah, 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 how dare all these things. It should have been like the legendary original Exorcist. You know what I mean?
Why would you expect that? It's been 50 years.
Like, we got our cameo.
Mm-hmm.
We got our
and
cameos.
People were disappointed by.
And I thought that was fine.
I thought it was fine.
I thought like, it was
it's not a movie
fine.
about the original people.
No. It's just the only reason why they reached out to the original people is because of what's going on with them now.
Right.
Like, that's the only reason why there was a reach out
like,
at all.
Oh, you've been through this. Let's get in contact and see if they can help, which they do.
Exactly.
Period. That would bring me into my 1 stars, but I do have another little tidbit about Lamashtu's appearance.
Yeah, go for it.
Because we talked about Pazuzu's appearance. So
Yeah.
So Lamashtu is depicted as a mythological hybrid. Very hairy body.
Mm-hmm.
Period queen. We don't need to shave for nobody. A lioness's head. Donkey's teeth.
Weird.
And ears.
Okay.
With long fingers and fingernails. The feet of a bird with sharp talons.
Okay.
Often depicted standing or kneeling on a donkey.
Okay.
This is where it gets weird.
Okay.
With a pig and a dog nursing from her.
Huh.
As she's holding snakes.
Huh. Fascinating. Wild. Fascinating. Weird.
I don't really know. But people are saying that she bears some resemblance to Lilith
Gotcha.
in Jewish mythology.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to share that because that was very interesting. Like, what? Huh?
It's fascinating.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now I will talk about the 1 stars.
Now you're getting to 1 stars. Yes.
Which, at reading these, my
so we're
mouth,
both going to be like, fuck you. How dare you?
my jaw was on the floor. I was sitting there like, how are you saying these things right now? I'm so confused and so utterly lost, and I genuinely don't understand. Here's the first one.
Okay.
I'm utterly disappointed. The Exorcist was a great movie.
I knew it.
Because the plot made sense. The acting was remarkable. I could feel the pain and helplessness of the mother. The Believer is, on the contrary, the opposite of the Exorcist. Nothing makes sense here. Nothing. When Victor assembled all these religious parties, I thought I was watching Avengers.
What the fuck?
If you summoned all the religious reps to carry out the exorcism, what do you really have? Or what do you really believe? And the funny thing is, the religious reps should have faith in their own religion, but it seems that they were somehow counting on the priest. And the priest seems to be the most confident one, but he got killed in a minute or two.
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe no more. In short, the jump scare scenes are not unexpected. The plot is too weak. The only thing that's worth my time is to see Ellen Burstyn again.
I knew you were going to find somebody who said that shit. God, fuck. I knew it.
It was everybody.
Yeah, it's everybody. I swear to God, it's like all these people are just stupid. Like, the plot makes sense. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure the next one
You
irks me
are
even more.
so fucking wrong.
The plot makes sense
Plot does not make any effing sense. There's no connective tissue.
anywhere.
Period. In here,
It connects everything. It explains everything in detail. If you had never seen The Exorcist, you could watch this and be fine.
yeah. Completely fine.
Because they even explain the background of our characters, Chris and Reagan.
Yeah. 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 In
Believe me,
what should have been the synopsis of the actual movie.
I feel like I got more info about the original Exorcist than I did watching the original Exorcist.
Yeah. The original Exorcist is so fucking confusing and all over the place.
Yeah.
This movie has such a great story. Combining all these different religions is just proof that all beliefs are correct.
Right. Because they're all a combination of something or another, and they all have the same origins.
And they all have
basically
the ability to be of aid.
Mm-hmm. Like, did I say this in here? Why not bring everyone together?
Yeah.
Why not, have the same belief for one thing and join together? Like, why do people love division so much?
Because people like being right and being the only ones that are right.
And that is such a narcissistic way of thinking.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so close-minded and ignorant.
Yep.
Like, be fucking for real.
It's why we're 0.7. You'd have to watch Illuminati podcast to actually understand what the fuck I just said.
On how many levels?
Like 10.
Yeah. 0.7 is where we're at.
We're not even at a 1 because we can't harmonize as a society.
Which I will never understand. I don't get it.
Ugh.
Why don't we just take the people who want to do that and, like, let's make our own little community? People will call us a cult, And I don't give a fuck. Personally, I don't give a fuck. Try it again.
We need to harmonize, dude.
People think that, oh, harmonizing and, you know, equality and blah, 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 communism and cult.
No.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck your mouth.
You can have equality, but you also have to be aware of equity.
Facts.
And then you have to be aware of justice. Because there's a difference. Because equity just means giving people two different levels to get to the same thing. But justice is correcting the system so that both people can use the same level and both have access.
I like your words.
So, yeah. We're nowhere near any of those ones.
No. And
we're in inequality.
And it's crazy that in today's society, where we have said that we've made so much progress, the amount of steps we've gone backwards.
Yeah.
It's actually baffling. Actually,
since
befuddling.
2016.
Oh, I wonder what massive event caused that.
You know?
I don't actually know.
You know?
What do you... What?
Well, you know? You know?
Ugh. And he's...
It's like all the dickheads out of the... You know that I saw someone make a statement recently. A different woman political figure was like, if he can still run for president, then on every job application, they need to take off the question of
Facts.
If you've been a felon.
Facts.
Because if he can still be a president, that means why are we asking people... And that being an effect on a job if he can still do that.
Facts.
If he can do that, there shouldn't be the question asking if we've ever had a felony.
I don't know how that loophole is in there.
You know?
How did nobody catch that?
You know?
Because I bet they were all like, well, no convicted felon would actually run for president. What do you...
You are very wrong. You are very wrong.
Anyway.
My
next point.
The next one star.
John Borman can sleep a little easier tonight. He is no longer responsible for directing the worst film in the Exorcist franchise. The second one is what they're referring to.
Okay.
Why in the name of God does GGG bring back Ellen Burstyn just to treat the character of Chris McNeil with such contempt?
What? I'm sorry, what?
What, by stabbing her eyeballs?
By gouging her eyes out?
She went up there on her own volition.
She went up there on her own volition and was like, I'm gonna confront this motherfucker.
Right. Like,
she wanted a hands-on experience and fucking got it.
Because she never really got closure. It was just the guy jumped out of a window and it was done.
That was it, yeah.
So, I mean...
Yeah.
Hello? So, I think she got her closure. Watching this movie, I started to wonder if DGG hates William Friedkin.
No.
That's the level of disrespect on display. This is the worst film I've seen in some time, and in this day and age, that's saying something. It's one of those movies in which a character, or in this case, 3 or 4 characters, stop to tell the audience exactly what is happening on screen. There was a period after all of those words. More than a bad film, it's an enraging one. The option should exist to award 0 stars. Its existence is blasphemy.
And you are an idiot.
A little bit.
And very wrong.
I don't know what else to say other than that.
Like, it's stupid that you would think her role in this movie was not like a scene of disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
It was a camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. That's what that represented is. You went through a thing. Can you help us through a thing?
And she chose to do that.
Yeah. 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 And it's also just, and also just the fact that, you know, if the actress didn't want to be in the role, she just wouldn't have accepted the job.
Facts. And I feel like because of her Oscar nomination and because of how incredible her performance was taken as, if the script had been, like, if the character's script had been written in a way she didn't like, I'm sure
Yeah.
the writers would have been on board with whatever she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Personally.
Because who other than her and know her character?
Knows her character. Right.
Like,
other than the writer who wrote her character.
Yeah, but she's the one who developed the personality and stuff.
Exactly.
So it's like, you're not going to get a better version of her than from the actress who played her, you know? And it's not even just that. It's I get that there's a lot of the mentality of like comparing a sequel or a, you know, to the original and all that kind of shit. I get it. I get that people do that and all that kind of shit. But to act like this movie's disrespectful to the original is very highly inaccurate.
I agree.
Because you technically don't need the first one to watch this one. Facts.
Correct.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
Just dropped a bomb on all of you, but you know.
Fucking clearly. Because this movie's beautiful.
It's bonkers how beautifully terrifying it is. Like,
yeah. Yeah. The real world.
What I would do to watch it in
fear.
the theater again.
Oh, dude. Dude.
Would love to.
Would love to have that experience again.
That'd be incredible.
Because it's awesome, because it was nice because we did the house, we went to go see the movie, and then the next time we knew what was going on.
Yeah. So, house, movie, house again.
Also, just the visual effects of all of it is fucking wild and amazing.
And the thought that went into it as well.
Shit, I remember when you and I first went into the house and we saw her fucking floating in the air with black goo coming out of her.
And we were like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is
all
that?
Right, we gotta watch this now.
Like, it's such a fascinating concept.
Did we watch it the day it released?
Possibly.
I feel like we did.
We might have done that because it was in October and then we went after.
Yeah.
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 It was like October 6th that it released.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty accurate.
We were like, we have to go see this movie when it comes out.
Because then we had planned to go to HHN a little bit later
Afterwards,
in October. So.
Man.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
But.
Great movie.
All you 1 stars
can kindly fuck off.
You're all wrong. The problem is I feel like there's a really intense rose-colored glasses towards the original film.
For sure. Oh, it's so hard, and it's an entire society who's wearing them. And
it's unfortunate because of how beautifully created this film is and this story is, and I'm excited with the idea of there being more.
Yeah. So I'm going to agree with you so hard on that one. Oh my God, you couldn't have said it better. Like, just people not opening their minds to other aspects of what this franchise could be and just sticking so hard to the original. But it's like, if the original people who are part of the franchise are coming back and celebrating this revival of it and are actively being a part of it, why is there an issue? Like, you should, like,
there's a chance that we might get more Reagan in the next movie since now she appeared at the end.
And they're all like, we didn't get enough. Okay, well, wait, be patient.
Yeah.
You might get what you want. You might not.
You might not.
But honestly, that's okay. Reagan has done her time.
Yeah, she's done her time. But it also is like, you know, now you have 2 girls with firsthand experience of experiencing 2 demons that are intrinsically connected.
Yep. I really wonder how they're going to play with that.
It, like, I can't even begin to think about what Deceiver could be. Because of how fascinating this movie was.
Yeah.
The possibilities
are so vast.
Are vast.
Well, we'll know next year.
We'll know next year. Hell yeah.
Next year. And then we'll do another little episode.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
For sure.
Alrighty, is that all your stuff?
It's all my stuff.
Alrighty. So it actually worked out that, our makeup artist this time worked on Happy Death Day, because guess what our next movie is? Happy Death Day.
Whoa.
Yeah, it actually fucking worked out. When I saw that, I was like,
It
oh,
usually
shit.
does. I don't know how we keep doing that.
I don't know. I saw that and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's awesome.
But yeah.
Find out more about their artistic abilities next episode.
I'm not going to lie to you. I did not get a lot of notes for that one.
That's okay. You did what you could.
But yeah, no. Our next week is Happy Death Day. Yeah. Please tell me that you guys send us an email, and please tell me you guys somewhat agree with us on our feelings about Exorcist Believer.
Because I'm not going to lie, I don't really understand the other views.
I don't really. I don't.
I'm trying.
Because it's such a good fucking movie. It's such a good movie.
It is. It really is.
Wild. It's wild. But you can send us an email at horrorunmasked@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, X, at Horror Unmasked. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora, and YouTube at Horror Unmasked Podcast. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe, like, thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to ask. Will you fear?
Or will you fear not?